everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Tonight we have an awesome panel with you guys discussing going into the mind of the celestial feminine, so the divine feminine. So we have, of course, Kai, who's the host, me as your co-host, Gia. We have Cecilia, the goddess, who we've had her before. She's so amazing. And we also have Mufa Cam, also a wonderful addition to this panel. I'm so excited for you guys to really get into what is the divine feminine, what does that look like, and what is our role right now, especially in 2023 going into 2024. So let's just dive right in. So we'll start with everyone kind of, I guess, giving, when you hear the word divine feminine or celestial feminine, what comes to mind? Cecilia, you can start.
Intuitive, nurturing. Am I supposed to pass it on? But those are the first two I think of.
Awesome. Muva, I hope I'm saying your name right.
Was I'm a mover and a mother, so it's your whichever way you connect. But when I hear divine feminine, feminine in general, it makes me think of a mind, intuitive. Those are the two keywords that come up for me.
Awesome, awesome. And Kai, what do you think when you think of divine feminine?
The first thing, as we all know, like I think it's the first thing that comes to a lot of our minds is that intuitive ability, just that intuitiveness, creativity, receptiveness and nurturing, healing energy. It's what holds together. It's the creative force that brings things together. You know what I'm saying? It holds things together. With that creative energy. That makes sense.
Yes. I mean, each one of you guys said intuitive. Now, there's a lot of people who don't really fully understand what that is. What does it mean to be intuitive? And how is it that the divine feminine is, I guess, more so or more intuitive than the divine masculine?
I'll go on to it. I would say intuitive in the sense of just being able to pick up the subconscious vibrations from other people. So it's the things unsaid, the word unspoken, actions that happen. So discernment, are some of those things that come to mind. And then even with intuitiveness, it's about that inner connection to the all in all. So yeah, I think that gives us a nice connection to the opposing, the polar side of the masculine.
Perfectly
Yeah,
said.
I definitely agree. Go ahead, Cece.
I also think that, when we talk about intuitive or being intuitive, that is a feminine trait. So as far as like talking about divine masculine energy and divine feminine energy, it's feminine energy to be intuitive. So it's not, I don't think it's necessarily a thing to where it's more intuitive than the masculine. It's just a feminine energy. And we all have that masculine and feminine energy within us, but the intuitiveness is that feminine energy.
Understood. When I think about personally, when I think of divine feminine energy, and is that different now than just feminine energy? What makes it divine feminine as opposed to just feminine energy? Is there a difference or is it just all the same?
Being able to tap into self, ultimately, which is source. Then you have distorted, where it's the opposite of that.
Right.
Also, mastery, like divine feminine is more, like we all have feminine energy, everyone, man and female. But I think when we're talking about divinity, that's more, mastering and focusing on that energy too, or allowing it to be a dominant space. I think also like connecting with Cecilia, what Cecilia said, then putting that together too.
Yeah. Definitely. When I think about divine feminine, I think of someone who's conscious, who's aware, who walks in that consciousness, walks in that awareness. There's plenty of people on the planet, but not everybody's conscious, right? And so I think that for me, that's how it separates. Kind of similar to what you guys said, and I think that right now the struggle, I think, is, when well, I know for me, I spent a lot, not most of my life, a lot of my life, more so leaning into that survival, right? That survival more leaning on, depending on my masculine energy. And so making that transition or learning to balance the two has been tricky for me personally. How have you guys found, balancing those two energies within yourselves?
Hmm. Well, that's interesting. I would say the same for me. More so, not just being more in the masculine, but being balanced, because I feel that if you don't set healthy boundaries, that's a distorted energy, because you're out ultimately looking for something outside of self to compensate for something you feel you're missing.
Mm.
And so finding that wholeness, which is ultimately like when I mentioned to y'all a little bit earlier, like when I had the ceremony of marrying myself, that was, ultimately letting go of certain aspects that was needed in order to become whole. So again, it relates to coming back to self for me.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
For me, I've operated a lot of my masculine energy, also just having to deal with struggles and a lot of transitions, a lot of death and rebirth energy. But within that, and then also I'm a mother. So within that space, there's a lot of transformation. So that portal of that death and rebirth was a big theme for me in my life. And then also tapping more into like the energy of creation,
Mm-hmm.
which was part of the inspiration of like starting a business, and like we were talking about before our chat, like doing art and writing books, and even the creation of all the children, right?
Yeah.
So tapping into the sacral energy of that empress energy, that creative space, and balancing your womb space and really understanding what that is. That was a big part for me to help me get out of my masculine energy and to be more balanced.
Now that's
Mm-hmm.
a big key, womb energy. 'Cause when I did
Yes.
so, literally the next day, it felt like someone was tearing my insides up with a knife. It was like, it was something that I had to, even though I had support there, it was something that I had to fight through myself. I knew what it was when it was happening, but it was painful. But healing that wound area, speaking to your wound, forgiving yourself, holding space for yourself and compassion, not just this lifetime, but previous lifetimes from tragic events and stuff like that. Because, like I said earlier in my life, your soul is like a recorder; it records everything. So when I did that personally on a personal level, I was able to step more into my femininity. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so it's
Mm-hmm.
a balance between both, because you know I have a business, so I know the logic, the logistics of that business and handling that, but also you know being what you call it soft era is what they say now. So
Mm-hmm.
learning how to allow. That's what I love to allow.
Yeah.
Allowing.
I think for myself was just for one, I think the thing that helped me most was like understanding what masculine energy and feminine energy was. Because a lot of times we don't know that we're operating in that masculine energy, and we think that just because we're feminine that you know we're in our feminine energy and we're not. And so I think that's something that first I had to understand what the difference was. um, but a lot of healing, I had to do to tap into that energy, because I have an Aries moon, so I'm
We're
naturally
talking about that.
what I'm saying, I have a lot of masculine energy, so I had to balance that. It took a lot of work. And I feel like the first thing that I had to do was remove myself from people, places, and things, mentalities that kept me in my masculine energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I realized that a lot of the time we put ourselves in these situations
Spaces.
that keep us in unbalanced masculine energy, and it throws off our feminine. We're in survival mode. We're trying to fight for our lives, and this is not whatever.
Fight.
But I think the biggest thing for me was just learning to remove myself from those energies that would keep me in that wounded masculine energy, you know. And then just, you know, doing a lot of self-reflection, inner work, being out in nature, connecting with Mama Gaia, you know, and just, you know, nurturing myself, loving myself, and just, you know, journaling affirmations and things like that, just to bring that softness back in order, you know, because it was all out of whack for a while.
Yeah, I definitely can understand that. And I think one thing that I found very difficult is identifying identifying when that switch happens within myself. If I am in my, you know, feminine energy, when does it switch? How does it switch? What's causing the switch? And really sitting and just observing my life for a while to see what's triggering this and what's doing that, so I can then determine who I need to remove myself around. Because you're right, a lot of the times we put ourselves in certain spaces, right? And they're just not healthy for you. They're just not good. They're going to keep you in that masculine thing because you're surviving within that space. And so removing myself and being able to sit and really clear that and work through that has been very helpful for me personally. And then also, I remember I took your class, Kai, your self-mastery class. And one of the things that I still remember till this day is that video we watched. And she said, what would someone who loves themselves do? And that was powerful. So when I'm in those spaces or around people who just are not don't make me feel good, because our feelings as the feminine matter so much. Because it's through our feelings that we create. So if I'm around somebody who makes me feel terrible all the time, I'm going to create what? Terrible. Because you get back what you are. Right? So if I'm always feeling like I have to survive, I'm always going to have situations where I'm going to need to always survive. So removing yourself from that space, identifying who and what is so important for me personally, because in being able to identify those things and then set up those boundaries, it's put me more of in a calm state where I can now be like, do the things that I love, do the things that makes me happy, that brings me joy, that makes me feel good, and not so much in the spaces where I need to survive or I'm fighting for my life. And that has been really beneficial in the last couple of months, and even so much in the last couple of weeks, you know, being able to really identify those things, you know, has been impactful for me.
What you're saying. Also, I think sometimes we end up continuously going through certain cycles of manifesting spaces to where we have to be in survival based off of situations from our childhood. So also, I think part of the healing and finding the balance within your masculine and feminine is healing with relationship with your mother and father, especially with relationship with mother. I noticed as I continue to work on my relationship and just deal with just different patterns and different things that happened in my childhood, I started to notice the same characters, that the roles that people were currently playing, and it would match to like the main characters that were related to childhood. So as you go through and deal with mother wound, with father wound, you can be able to come more into a balanced space. So I think that tied in a lot to what Kai was saying also.
Excellent. I did the same.
I agree 100%. I guess now shifting into, you know, we talk about relationships and setting up boundaries. How hard has that been, I guess, when it comes to like, you know, trying to get into your feminine space, and how hard is it to set? I know for me, it is extremely hard for me to set boundaries, and it's extremely hard for me to enforce them sometimes, but I'm getting better at it. Even I don't care, because you know what it is. I come from I spent a lot of years not wanting to hurt people's feelings, so I can't say that. I can't do that. I don't want nobody to be mad at me. Somebody's mad at me, it's like the whole world. Why? What did I do? What did I do wrong? You know? And so it made it very difficult with the people pleasing and stuff like that to set up boundaries with people, especially in relationships as well too, because people think that just because you're in a relationship with people, you can't. Whether they're your siblings or your family or a romantic situation, you still have to sometimes set these boundaries. How have you guys found that process?
Love.
I think that, for myself, is for one, is that like, this is something I'm even realizing in my current reality, is that we are not, is for one, understanding you're not responsible for everybody else's emotions.
Mm.
We want to protect other people's emotions. We want to protect, what I'm saying? But we're also leaving our own guards down. You know what I'm saying? It's like we have to learn to protect ourselves first. And it's not always about protection. It's about preserving your energy.
Yes.
It's about, you balancing your energy and keeping it balanced, keeping it in a state of flow, right? And when we, are in a position to where people are, messing with our energy and throwing us off, you have to remember it's not about them, it's about you. It's about your peace and it's about your sanity. You know what I'm saying? And we get to this point to where we're thinking about everybody else, that you forget that you don't feel good, or that doesn't feel good, or this is bothering you, or this is throwing you off. But I guess maybe we think, but so I'll put it like this. So for myself, it's just me remembering who I am, remembering where I came from, and remembering that if I'm going to attract the type of energy or maintain the kind of energy that I want to maintain within myself, I have to create boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
Because people will pull and people will pull and people will suck at your energy. You're inviting, a gang load of energy vampires to come feast off of you, and it's not about, what I'm saying? We have to teach other people how to treat us, right?
Yeah.
If you don't set any boundaries, sometimes people don't know that they're overstepping your boundaries. And how are they going to know if you're not saying anything? Now, if they continue to do that, then obviously you know what time it is. But it's just a thing to you remembering that it's not about anybody else but you and the way that you're feeling, and it doesn't make you feel good, or it doesn't produce the results that you're desiring, you have to create that boundary. And again, it's not about anybody else. It's about you, and you're not responsible for the way people take that, because you have to make sure you're good at the end of the day.
Yeah. I think what the struggle is with that, and I don't know about everybody else. I can only, again, speak for me. When you come from a Christian background, that sounds selfish, right? We're taught to be selfless, right? And so making that transition from always being told you're supposed to be so selfless and so humble and, and give your life of everything, and then you start on this spiritual journey, you're realizing, well, dang, how am I going to
selfish and self-centered? You're supposed to center yourself, right?
Right. And it's a hard transition to make when you come from that kind of background. I know for me, it's been very difficult, but I can see the progress, within myself. So I'm happy, with that, but it's definitely a struggle, because you just, you always want to be, I know for me, I always want to be good, whatever that is, you know what I mean? And that's the thing, or do the thing you're quote unquote supposed to do. And that's been up my behind for a long time. There's a lot of supposed to's, and I'm realizing now supposed to is not serving me right. I'm finna be done with supposed to.
Yeah, because I think spirit will eventually put you in a position to where you have no choice but to set a boundary.
Oh, I think
your inner self. Your inner self will be in conflict, so you'll feel that first. And you know if it feels right or not. Whether you think it's something you're supposed to do or something that you're doing. If it's not something that's pleasing you, if you don't feel good, then your inner self is going to have that conflict, and that's going to show up in your life in numerous of ways, whether it's financially, whether it's, health wise, whether it's just in anxiety all the time, that's going to come up. So
and who determines what you're supposed to do? Like, who is the overseer? You are the overseer of your own self. And even in space of Christianity, because I come from that also, but your inner self is your part of your God body. So you have to understand that the part of staying in that is understanding self in general. You know, like it's all about like making sure that, because our whole life and reality is a reflection of our inner self and what we really feel. That's why it's important to like focus on dealing with healing of the self, and even like the space, setting boundaries. You know, what we were talking about, it all determines on loving yourself more and really coming to a more healed space within yourself, because then vibrationally you'll start to attract different things, or you'll set up different energies and to come into your space. Like you're manifesting continually based off of your state of being. So as you're continuing to work on the self, the things that you need will naturally start to magnetize to you. So you don't necessarily have to do so much of like physically and consciously having to go and say, I have to set a boundary. I have to go set a boundary, because as you continually remove based off of self-preservation and taking care of the self and doing all of that, then as you're continually doing that, it will naturally be able to allow you to create, you'll have your boundary space already set.
I definitely
and people will naturally fall away as well. Like she said,
right. You'll manifest people who are like-minded. So attracting that
same vibration,
because there's chaos within, you know. So it's more about going back and dealing with those roots and finding out where those spaces are coming from.
agree. I definitely agree.
I agree. And so, speaking of that, or who was about to say something?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. So I also wanted to tap into, if we can tap into the difference between the soft girl era, or being a soft girl and being in your divine feminine energy.
Right. It's a different.
I don't think soft girl era means, well, I don't think divine feminine equals soft girl.
Right.
You know, because that
don't.
Very much like the beginning of Indies. Remember, I was talking about the spaces of transformation are there, that Oya energy, the winds of change. You know, it's not always sweet. It's not always soft to be in a divine feminine space.
I got a machete in my front seat.
Steady.
I mean, when we think of Mother Earth, we think of Mother Earth, right? Mother Earth is nurturing, right? It produces fruit, produces trees, blah 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 blah. But Mother Earth is a destroyer. Hallelujah. Mother Earth is hurricanes. Hallelujah. It's both. It is definitely both, and people are stuck in this. You need to be
Cameron, what I always say,
and that's not it.
I say either my water can nurture you or I can drown you. Which one was that?
It's true. It's true.
That's the truth. That's the truth.
It's even when I think of, I'm really bad at remembering my Egyptian or Kemetic entities, nature spirits, but one of them, I think it's the main one. Anyway, they have this thing that sits right here, right? And I was asking about it, and I was just like, "What is that?" And it's like the feminine that comes in when you it comes in as a protector, and that I want to get into, because a lot of people think masculine protector, but feminine is also a protector, and a lot of people don't know that because they think that it's just a masculine thing.
Yeah, you can also.
No, it wasn't this one. That's a different one. It was like a little. It was like I forgot.
Really,
it's like a little club.
Hathor
is really Dantor. Like Israeli Dantor is the protector of children, protector of women. You know, like she, had the cut on her face. Like it was a defender.
Right.
Middle name is Alexandra. It means defender of men. Like so, in a space of protection, you can also be it could dual role to be a defender, an advocate, just think about all the spaces where women connect in. Like we are most of the time we are the forefront for children. We are the forefront for our men, because without that's what I'm gonna say. Without
preach.
Wow.
We're gonna pass the plate.
But usually are in the forefront of different things. We set the tone for the men to be able to go out to do things, because they wouldn't be able to do that without the security of the women holding space in certain areas, like you just say, protecting the home and providing and making sure that you fed, that nurturing, that being able to feed someone, that is
organization.
Yeah, but also in spirit, right? Also, we are the spiritual realm. We operate in that realm, so we protect via the spiritual realm. They are protectors in the physical realm. And I think that because we've seen it in history, we've been cut off a lot. We went from unk to cross. We've been removed. Father, Son, Holy Ghost. They know feminine. Father, Son, Holy Ghost. Where they came from? You know what I mean? So like we've been removed a lot as if we don't matter, but in all actuality, that divine feminine energy, it does create, it protects, it receives first before the male receive. And so we understanding what we are and who we are and how powerful that is so important.
Yeah, and even so, like the divine feminine energy is also wisdom.
Yeah.
She is the knowing. She is the receptor, of receiving those messages from the divine. And so I think that plays a major role in protecting the masculine, because she can see things that the masculine can't.
He even knows it. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's it's like nonetheless, it's a team effort.
Yes.
Of divine masculine energy and divine feminine energy. There is no balance without the two.
What word comes to me? Covering, because even prayer and supplication and our intentions and like that intuition and those different directions, those are directed things in the spiritual realm, and those concern coverings for whoever the intention is for.
Yes. Agreed.
I definitely agree. Even when we look at the twin flame thing, I know one of the things that used to bother me in that journey is it's like, because we're used to, we're just hanging out and the guy comes and the guy initiates and the guy pursues. But in that journey is very different, because first, the female knows first. She goes through it first. And I'm like, why? Why do I gotta go through? You know what I mean? Like it's
like the journey.
It's such a weird thing, but I've come to understand it a bit better in that it makes sense that way, because we're so we're the receptive energy, we're the creative energy, and we're also the portal, so to speak. And so it just made sense that way. And I think it's important that we understand exactly just what our roles are and how important it is and how beautiful it is, and and really walk in that. Another thing, I guess, does this fit? I'm not sure, but I know we discussed it in the whole submission thing, because that's the thing that's going around now.
Oh yeah, we talked about that. Please, let's touch on that. Trigger alert, warning.
No, okay, so let's talk about it. When are we supposed to submit? What are the terms for submission? Do you just submit to every relationship, any random? What how does that work? Within, for us as divine feminine.
Well, naturally, if a masculine male is taking leadership properly. That's the key word. Into with himself, into with that God energy, then naturally the feminine is going to be submissive. Now, I'm not talking about on a leash dog, you do and you obey type of. That's not submission.
Yeah.
But the woman will naturally feel safe and honored, and when a woman feels safe, then naturally she'll be submissive. Like, the man can take the lead. Of course, I'm not going to say a real, I'm looking for a better term. A divine masculine will definitely seek counsel in his divine feminine.
Yes.
So it goes both ways. Submit to each other. It's not one person submit to the other. It's both intertwined
Submitting
with
to
each
each
other,
other.
in alignment with each other, and
Yeah.
following the flow of each other. So that
Yeah.
is what submission is to me
I
in
agree.
our
And
relationship.
yes.
I think the whole leadership thing gets misconstrued a lot
Oh
because
my
like
God.
they don't have to take any advice from us. It's just I'm finna do. And it's like that's not how
You
that
know
works.
me, I'm not going to turn up here, but
No, and I think it's, you know,
thinking,
once you get into,
ooh,
like you said, when you get into the, like, and what we talked about in that, you know, during that meeting is that, you know, when you're in the presence of a divine feminine energy and a divine masculine energy, it's going to pull out the divinity within you.
mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So it automatically, it's a even balance that happens. You know what I'm saying? And so when I think that when it comes to submission, if you're finding it hard to submit, or it just might not be that connection for you. You know what I'm saying? Or you just might need you might need a lot more healing to do.
It won't take work, right?
Right.
You know
It doesn't
It'll
take
take work
It's a
within
natural
yourself.
thing that happens, that, you know, that when two energies that are in unison or that are in sync, you know, it automatically is given in a sense,
Yeah.
if that
There's
makes sense. You know what I mean?
There's a picture in like you know, Egyptian culture, and it's of a king and a queen, and they're standing side by side next to each other, which is what I was gonna say. And I feel that there's a big balance. Like the woman has her arm wrapped around
Yes, I've seen it.
Yes.
Yeah.
under his wing here and
Mhm.
holding him, and he has her around her shoulder, and basically whenever he starts to stumble or fall, she can hold him up, and then
Yes.
at the same time he has her, so she dips down, that they're always being in a position
Yeah.
to hold each
Yes.
other's space.
Mhm.
So yeah, I definitely think that, you know, submission, I don't necessarily say that. I think like what we talked about, like that ebb and flow
That
Mhm.
dance.
them,
Yeah.
yeah. But you know, as they're standing next to side by side, they're able to like just kind of stay in range of each other. But you know, flow. One person might be more dominant in the situation, another person not. And then flip side, there's another area
Mhm.
dominant. It's all that balance.
Like the yin and yang too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Agreed.
opposite. Turning it the other way, it's still balance.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that, you know, it's anyone, I just don't feel like someone like, you know, that I don't think that's something that's tossed around in such a connection to where, oh, I submit and I didn't know. I think it's just like something that is just like an understanding that
Mhm.
that you can't necessarily, it's just something that you know what I'm saying? It's an automatic thing. It's like you don't have to think about it. It's just something that happens naturally. It pulls that out of you. That natural, you know, it's just like something that's natural and something that we all carry within us, but it will come out for that right person or that
Right.
the right connection. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I guess then I do want to tap into I do want to talk about dark feminine energy though, because I do feel like there's a misconception about dark feminine energy, because I feel like, you know, because when we talk about dark feminine energy,
They'll think it's distorted, and that's not
they
the
think of distorted, you know, or it's just like, you know, if you look it
No.
up, it's considered the shadow side of divine feminine energy.
Lilith energy, right?
Right. You know,
Mhm.
but even in that dark feminine energy, it's still a divine energy.
Yeah,
I have both. We all do, I think.
like being more. Remember we said it's a portal of transformation. Like, you know, that energy is just as important as being in life and light. That energy of endings and death and darkness is just as important for transformation. You know, so I think that's important, like to recognize the shadow feminine, um, and really know that it's not. Yeah, you have to understand what the difference is in being distorted versus like what it is to be operating in Lilith energy. And Lilith energy is like a duality with it's not necessarily duality, that's the wrong word, but it's very similar to masculine energy, but it's intense. It's intensity. With
Seductive almost, right? It's a seductive energy.
its intensity within spaces of transformation, but it has to do with creation still.
Mhm.
You know, it has to do with transforming the self, or others, or being in a creative energy. But it seems more aggressive because it's similar to like a masculine side,
Mhm.
like the other side of the moon.
Yes.
Manifest a lot quicker. through that.
Yeah, and it's responsible, like you said, it's responsible for that death and rebirth process, that
Mm.
transformation.
Oh,
And it is, and it's just like people, the misconception is to think that, it's just accepting your shadow, and it's just like, okay, there's one thing to, like, you can accept your shadow, you can accept your traumas, you can accept your wounds, but it is your responsibility to heal those things and not allow them to control you and be the driver of your life, and so I think that a lot of the time that dark feminine energy is now looked at as, almost chaotic, but in a more negative sense, in you know reality, it's like, it's intense, what I'm saying, but it's not wounded, it's not distorted, it's still very much divine.
abstract, but it's not distorted. Like an abstract painting.
Yes.
You can't fully understand it unless you're the artist itself, or you really take a deep look into that painting.
Yeah.
So that's what I think about, like Cali.
Yeah. Yes.
So how does one operate in their dark feminine energy exactly? Like, how does that, how would that look like? I guess for those who don't know, what does that look exactly like?
That is,
And maybe do a comparison between.
it's like deep shadow work, facing all the dark parts of yourself, like that's mirror, like look in the mirror and you see every single thing. You start to watch your eyes in the mirror and you see your face transform in front of you. Like you have to, it takes a lot of, it's very internal. So it's more if you're spending time solo, like you can't really do a lot of deep shadow work around a lot of people. These also bring out, also the shadow feminine brings out a lot of your spiritual gifts too. Let's keep that in mind. It makes me think about the movie Us. Remember the tethered, the people tethered world, and they were able to like activate all their spiritual gifts, but the people that was on the surface, they could not master those things. In those spaces, and you can definitely find out a lot more about your giftings. In those spaces. But it does take, it is a more difficult space to be in, because you're going to have to face a lot of the traumas, or like you'll have to go through, like, or you're maybe experiencing as you're going through a lot of death and rebirth cycles in your life, or transitions. They may start to come out, your shadow may come to the surface in those spaces, and you have to be conscious and aware in those spaces to recognize that what that is for.
Right.
It may take journaling, going deeper, looking at the spiritual roots of disease, like dealing with truths, hard truths, like dealing with your authenticity, taking off masks, those things. Yeah, it may be a lot more intentional, like as you're doing those.
Start listening to DMX a lot. No, I was like,
Ain't nothing wrong with that, boo. Ain't nothing wrong. That's my boo. I mean,
I'm down south.
That's my listen.
That's my boo.
Like,
real talk.
Legit. And yeah, I know going into those that deep shadow work space, that I'm by myself and I'm figuring things out and I'm looking at it. That's a hard space. It's a really difficult space to be in. But I know it's very, it's necessary. It's definitely necessary to work through and understand who you are and to do that healing. I know it's a definitely necessary space, and it's like Kaya said, it's definitely not understood, because it may not look nice,
especially for my background. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's subjective because I think it's personal. It's very personal, so it can't be really understood by others because it's your own
right, exactly.
Yeah.
Especially for everyone here in the panel understands what I'm saying. As a healer, as a person that facilitates healing, practitioner, you definitely have to do that work. And I know Cam knows me on a personal level. Literally, the universe pushed us in the hole. Like, it made us. It wasn't a choice.
Yeah,
It
me
was
and
like, okay, you gotta do the work now. Like, especially with my Venus in my 12th house, it was a must for me to do that work in order to be able to, teach what I'm teaching now. It was definitely a necessity. So
we was going
Yeah.
through that, girl.
listen.
Yeah, I think that
Story.
I love that you said that because it's like excuse me, I'm like getting over a cold.
I know, boo.
So,
I love it. I love the raspiness. You sound so hot.
that's right.
I'm right.
You can't let it.
I don't mind a little raspiness. But I love that you said that, or just like broke that down, because I know, like, even for myself, I've been probably in like this solitude phase of my journey for over a year. Like, I want to say like a year and a half now. It's been a while, or at least a year. I would say like a year and a half. Yeah,
Year and a half.
a year and a half. And it takes it is a lot of work. It is a lot of work to have to dive deep within yourself and discover those roots. Because like I always say, you can chop down the tree, or whatever. But if you don't get to the roots, there's things that are still there. And I feel like, us that are on the front line or just in this work and are supposed to be doing this work, and or at least teaching that aspect of self-mastery or transformation, we're forced to go that deep.
Yeah.
And uproot those uproot the root. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot, and I had to learn to accept the dark aspect of myself, or just those wounds, or just certain things that that society would deem unacceptable, or just were like taboo, or whatever the case may be. And so going deep within and just tapping in with your dark feminine energy, I think that is almost necessary for each of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can't necessarily master yourself unless you tap into that energy too.
Right. Definitely.
So it's vital for us to take that time.
And if anybody is always, the love and light, namaste, I'm looking at you sideways.
Yeah.
Something's wrong here.
That's it. I mean, I have a question, I guess. This has worked for me, although maybe it has worked. There has been times when I am like, I'm in a situation maybe or whatever, and I know this whatever behavior I'm exhibiting may not be the best or the softest, whatever, but I'm watching myself. I'm allowing myself to continue, but I'm watching myself at the same time. And then after I'm out that situation, be like, okay, so this is what you did here. This is what you did. Why? You know what I mean? And asking those, is that how you guys go through those processes? Or is it just,
definitely.
I just found that was the easiest way for me to just allow myself to go through it. And then later on,
you're conscious and you're aware.
Yeah, I'm aware. I'm like, girl, you're acting all the way crazy right now, but we'll deal with it.
I think that's
you know what I mean?
Like, ultimate goal. And I think that's just like you said, it just serves or just shows your level of consciousness, because, if most of the time, if we're like, imagine how long or how many, like how long we went or how long we've been in this lifetime and we've acted upon our emotions, or we got upset or whatever the case may be. And we just like went ballistic on some things, and we didn't even realize why, when, where, or whatever whatever the hell was going on, right? And then you calm down, and then you're like, dang, I regret that, or like, oh shoot, I shouldn't have did that, or I shouldn't have said that, because you were still operating in that animalistic nature, what I'm saying? There was no awareness of self, what I'm saying? And so as you evolve, and I think as you do a lot of healing work, you start to get to the point to where you're able to view yourself in a different light. Because now you understand that a lot of the things that we do are basically our projection of our past, in a sense.
Learned behaviors.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that, for me, I love that aspect. You know what I'm saying? I think that's my favorite play like that. That's like my favorite thing that I'm experiencing in this phase of my journey is being able to be the observer of my reality instead of being absorbed by the emotions. I could sit back and be like, girl, you like
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And so I think that it just gives you I think a bit like it'll just eventually you'll get to the point to where you just accept yourself, you love yourself, and you then like another aspect of being that observer is also what I'm saying, like as you're observing, cater to yourself, reparent yourself, love yourself through those moments. You know what I'm saying? Because I can be sitting down crying my eyes out, right? But because I have that, my higher self is more clear to me now that I've cleared out a lot of wounds. I'm able to nurture myself in those moments.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I literally look at my higher self as like that parent that I needed, or
hand clap for the self-regulation, because
there's
a lot of growth within this, within self.
Agreed.
And I think that that's just that's growth. On a conscious level, that's growth.
Yeah, definitely.
I've been in a lot of situations where I'm like, damn, my lower self is like, I would have handled that differently. Not proud of myself, like, that's growth, because what would have triggered me and how I would have reacted to certain situations and how I react now, it's definitely a whole 180. So but this takes, like you said, to be the observer of your thoughts, observer of your emotions, your actions that you take, and why. Why they spreading? Why?
Yeah. As the divine feminine, how important is it? I already know the answer to this, but hey, how important is it to listen to your body? How important is that?
Very.
And why? Why is it important? I guess I would ask.
Your mind, body, spirit is all interconnected within each other. So gotta be able to tap into your body. Your body is going to show you what's really going on within. It's a sign, like like we have when our body show dis-ease and all of that, we have this same, have spiritual roots of those things, and we have mental roots of those things. So like it's a reflection. Your body is a reflection of all your mental space. So it'll let you know based off of the way your body is. So you tapping in and understanding your body. You can tell when you're off, like you can pH off, you can your breath will be funky or something, your body odor will be stronger. You're like, what am I doing? What am I treating? How am I treating my body? It'll show you a reflection of what you're putting in your body, through your ears, through your mouth, through your relationships. So it'll all be a reflection of that. So tapping in and understanding your body is going to become like 100% important to just be attentive to, and to learn to read and understand, because if you're going to start to heal the self too, you'll be able to tell your progress, the clearness of your skin, your complexion, like I said, your inner things, like the way that you relate with others, how white your teeth are, your tongue, your eyes are going to let you know about your internal.
You're good.
So all of it is going to be interconnected. Just learning how to read yourself is going to be important.
Yeah. Your body is like a compass for real.
And it's a part of being intuitive. Your body is your temple, and if you're not treating it properly, and if you're not listening to it or paying attention to it, that's going to throw off the whole system. We use our the body is just it's a part of our
the vehicle. Like a vehicle, you take, you do your maintenance, you do your oil change, your checkup, you change the tires, you take care of it. Your car, you take care of your vehicle, and the vehicle takes care of you. If you don't do all those things, it's going to break down.
You won't be able to get to where you need to go.
You got do your spiritual work.
Stuck on the side of the road.
Basically, our spirit is really, we're just a spirit having a human experience. It's not the other way around. So our spirit is just in this body, and while we're here, we're supposed to, carry this body so it can carry us through the journey and operate and do the works that we're supposed to do and experiences we're supposed to have. So Even like the littlest things, as far as this, recently, I was talking to my spouse, and he went into a house. He was like, this is why I don't like going to people's houses, certain people's houses. He's like, my body just started itching. I was like, that's an indicator. There's some energies there that was not, kosher. He's like, yeah, I'm just itching and stuff. I'm like, your body's letting you know that.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm somebody who likes to watch for patterns with things. And I've started doing that with my own body as well too. Like, when is it that, what is the pattern of exhaustion, and what's around me when I'm feeling, it's just those asking those whys. I ask for everything. So, if I've noticed that there's a pattern of every time I'm around this person, I feel exhausted. Or every time I'm around that person, I feel energized. Every time I feel, especially with me, with having somebody who has dealt with depression and anxiety, if there's patterns with the anxiety, I start to pay more attention to that. And so I can make those shifts, like you said, so I think, definitely it's important to, pay attention to the body. The body holds a lot of memory.
Yeah. And I think that's another reason why, so important to have that time by yourself, to learn yourself, to study yourself, to analyze yourself, to know yourself inside and out. Because I think that for myself, even being in this state of solitude for a year and change now, I can, it's a no-brainer to, to differentiate my energy between someone else's. I'll walk into a room and I know exactly what's going on, because I know I've taken that time to understand my own energy, to feel my own body, to feel, what I'm saying? So I think that just developing that relationship between yourself and your body is important, because again, that's also your protection system, just like, it's a part of your senses.
Definitely.
You have to take that time to study your body, because
I think
it's going to talk to you.
There's like 3 major points. You have your, your pineal gland, your heart, and your womb. And even in men, they have a womb. It's not like a physical womb, but they have the womb chakra, the energy of the womb, right?
Yes.
So I always say listen to that. Pay attention, because we talked about the body and going physical places and you feeling energy. You can even, especially being intuitive, you can feel people's energy through a text message, through social media. And sometimes your gut, you have this gut feeling. It's like whether there's a tingling sensation, butterflies. Not always good to have butterflies.
It's not.
Or you have fluttering in the heart that is like a little off, and you're like, is it when a certain person picture or name come up or a text message? You're like, okay, let me sit with myself a little bit longer. Am I reading this wrong? Let me make sure it's not the ego, and just sit with it, and your gut will tell you, you just have to listen. So
yeah. I think we're doing.
I guess I was gonna just say, since we're on this, what are ways that you guys could give to those who are watching? What tips do you have to connect with that energy, or to increase your intuition in the body, your clairsentient energy?
As you said earlier, just being with yourself.
Sit with yourself, meditation, and just sitting, and mindful meditation too, right? So you sitting and you feel your body. Send your consciousness to different parts of your body. What does it feel like? What am I feeling in my heart right now? What am I feeling in my root chakra right now? What am I feeling like? Work through the chakras if you have to, but sit with yourself and just feel and be in that receptive mode, so you can really receive what it is that you're feeling and catalog it. You know what I mean? So that's what I would suggest. That's what for me.
Write your dreams if you start to dream. Also meditation doesn't have to just be silent, because some people get about meditation. Meditation active can be through dance. I know when I first started, really starting to connect with myself, I would have a little salt lamp which had the orange glow. I'll put where in my shower where it was, and I'll play music in there, and I'll be doing a little shower.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes. Connecting, just to see how my body looks, and you do that. You could be raw with yourself. You could look at yourself in the mirror, just the monkey, right? We in here, okay? Like,
Legit.
I was also, talking about the mirror meditation and listening to music, just doing things that you like to do. Really find out what you like, more of who you are, connecting with your roots too. Sometimes I notice I really enjoy searching like my ancestry and learning more about my ancestors and even the storylines and finding connections to my current self within those spaces. That also helped me to learn a lot more and be more grounded within myself. So those things too, I would suggest.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely agree. I want to also kind of go shift a little bit because I think,
Hey.
hey, I knew what it do, boo. Okay. Yeah. I want to shift a little bit because I think the divine feminine and its connection with I guess the sexual energy, because we're looked at like we're not supposed to be sexual beings, and I think that's kind of wrong. So I would like to have you guys.
Oh my gosh, yes, that's wrong.
We're missing somebody. I don't know what happened, but
Yeah.
yeah. So what is your opinion? I guess let's start with UCC. With is it that that's not something that we are? I don't know how to phrase this question, but I hope you get what I'm saying.
Sex is a part of procreation. We talk
It
about
is.
developing life and giving life, and it's also the art of manifesting, not just birth a child, but manifesting anything in essence. But there is a difference between sacredness and say sex and I don't know what to call it. I don't know what the word is right there, but just like we talk about distorted and divine, sexual energy, it's just a part of who we are. Now, I'm not going to get into the whole, you're into polygamy or not into polygamy, but sexual energy is definitely, it's normal. It's not to be frowned upon at all.
Yeah,
Expressing yourself and be open to expressing yourself. But if you're not, then that's something indicating you have to work with your womb. And sometimes I work with a lot of clients recently doing past life regressions. A lot of clients were not able to connect with their partners on that intimate sacred level because of things that's stored in the womb from previous lifetimes, from traumatic events or situations that they were in that they didn't know and they couldn't remember until we go into that past life regression. And when they're in that trance state, a lot of stuff come up and just have to release that and heal that.
I think another thing is to remember what sexual energy is, because it's creative energy.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
And that's like, it's very powerful energy. And I think that to suppress it, I mean, obviously everything needs balance, but
Right.
it's a creative energy. So it's just, I think that it's needed. It's normal to have.
There's nothing wrong with 40 Shades of Black either.
Listen, don't listen. I think what it is that when you think of a lot of the time we're told we're supposed to be modest and not want it and not sex is a masculine thing, that's their thing, right? But it's like no, we need to also appreciate our sexual energy because it's through that we create, you know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with it. I know for me personally, I was I think for most of my life, I was very prudish when it came. Like I couldn't even say the word. I was like, that thing, And I think in time, especially because I was previously a romance author, it brought me out of my shell, and I'm like I'm not a like that same person. But I find that we're told like not to, like no, we're supposed to, and it's just like that's not the right way either. I feel.
That's interesting.
I think another thing too is that I think it's there's a lot of power behind that energy.
Oh my God, you have no idea.
So it's only right for them to try to suppress it, because they don't want anything. They don't want to give us anything that's too powerful for
Right.
shut things down. But
Right.
but I also feel like there's also like a difference too between sexual energy and just being sexual. Or like because there's like I said, we have what's sexual energy in a divine way, and then we also have the distorted sexual energy.
Yeah, I think part of the difference is the ability of creation. Like, what are you creating with the energy? And that might be, it doesn't have to be a child. It can be like a business, or like, what are you manifesting within that space? I don't think if you don't have an intention set with it, then it may be misuse of the energy, because like you just said, Kaya, is very powerful. So, and it is part of your chi, your life force.
Yes.
So, just using it just to use it without any intention, without anything coming from it. Like, I think that's a misuse of the energy. So if you create some things every time, like, hey, let's go. Like that.
I know.
Can I chime in? Let me chime in. Can I chime in?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Okay. So I feel like with sex is something that is natural. Okay? It is so natural that when it comes to sex, you don't have to tell animals how to have sex. Down to insects. They automatically know this. It's not something that has to be taught to them. They don't even have a conscience and they know this. So that's for one. So we all have to understand sex, what it is for, and the power of it. So I feel like it's levels to sex. Okay? And with anything, especially in this realm with anything, is duality and polarity. So I feel like sometimes it's like with sex, you gotta kind of, it's like I would say like an initiation thing. Okay? The more you know, the more you can set the intent and use your discernment and intuition, and all that starts to come into play. But at first, for those who are uncomfortable at first, we all didn't know this. Nobody knew this. We all had the levels.
Levels.
And that comes with the territory, just as if with life, you got to go through the dark to get to the light. You got to go through the fire. These are things, it's a process with these things. So the more, we learn about it, the more we know about it, the more we can educate each other. And then we can use it for manifestation and our power, and to really because it can get deep. The rabbit hole gets deep. If you want to talk about just a bloodline thing, or you want to talk about it being a soulmate journey thing or a divine thing, it just depends on that particular being and that experience that they came out here to experience when it comes to that, So sex is very natural. Like I said, you ain't got to tell an insect. You don't have to tell.
I just seen 2 dogs humping.
Okay, well then let's transition now into, I guess, the importance of how I'm gonna phrase this, Lord, because we're receptors, we receive, hallelujah. So we don't want to just be receiving just any old thing, hallelujah. And so being mindful of what you can receive, okay? Because what you receive, if you ain't careful, you might be receiving all type of negative, because we take in that energy from that other person, and it's just really important to be mindful.
Oh man, that's why it's so important to heal.
At first, that's why I made the cord cutting. So it's more than a cord cut; it's pulling the root, as we was talking earlier.
Yeah.
I made that first for myself, because I was like, this shit gotta come out here. all that. But yeah, you definitely got to be mindful of who you give your energy to.
Yeah,
because you gotta.
You have to be conscious, aware.
Yeah, and I think that you can tell after you interact with someone who has a lower vibration than you, or could have just sucked the life from, like who's an energy vampire. You're gonna feel drained.
They're gonna feel, oh my God, I'm ready to go out and conquer the world. You're like,
Yeah, and you might get irritated or upset. You're because that energy is we're talking about sex, right? Which is an energy exchange. So when you you have to really have discernment,
I mean,
and this
go
is
deeper
why.
than that. It's deeper than that.
Yeah, and it's just I feel like we have a lot of people who say that you can do whatever you want with whoever you want, and that's you what you can. You want to do, but I promise you,
the consequences.
That's not proper spiritual height. That's not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're gonna mess up your energy so like it's about to, to that.
But, I know you said you had something additional to add.
No. I'm rocking with y'all. I agree, but I just feel like the more we talk about it, the more, especially for the new souls that's coming in here, and I mainly worry about the people coming behind me. So I feel like the more that we talk about it, the more we educate each other on it, the more awareness and the more light that we shine on it, we'll start to see the results that we're looking for. But yeah, to people out there who watching, listen, it's natural. I can't, like she said, we can't tell you what to do. This is all everybody's journey, everybody's experience, But listen, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Okay.
Remember, you're always creating your own.
You'll be able to tell being fooled by like how your life starts to manifest in regards to how you're dealing with that person. You'll start attracting things, losing things. I can tell you like a few stories, but like you can start losing things. Your health can decline.
Money,
your emotional, like you said, like you can come to you could pick up their emotions. Part of the soul type, the people that they dealing with. It won't be your authentic energy, so you got to really be discerning, like understand what your own energy, like Kai was talking about, being able to separate the you out of the spaces to know what you're really picking up on, so then you can kind of be able to measure out when those things are not healthy for you. And like when the people that you're dealing with may be in a different space than you, and it necessarily ain't necessarily low vibration though either. It's just about like people on different journeys, also because they just not be going the same space as you, and then you pulling you into their universe, you pulling them in your universe, right? You'll be pulling people outside of their spaces, like of where they're trying to authentically be aligned to. So and sometimes those part of the lessons that we have to deal with, because those part of the things that grow us into our journeys too. So we have to understand sometimes we need those type of experiences, but you have to understand like not where to hold on and where not to hold on. Moving through those.
I will say ancestors too, because if they don't agree with that shit, I'm like, I like him. I'm gonna knock this whole fucking altar down if you. Okay, fuck. I'm gonna give you a plate, answer.
Yeah, and especially for the feminine. I mean, at the end of the day, it's really all on you, because the masculine can want to see you all he wants, but it's ultimately your decision if you want the masculine to enter. So it's like we really got to be on y'all asses, because you make the final decision. Okay, and whatever decision you make, these are now the seeds that you have allowed to be planted in your foundation. So you can't plant no seeds if you don't agree to it. You know what I mean? So you kind of finally make that final decision.
Yeah, I agree.
They may think they're making that decision, but at the end of the day, they're not.
Right.
The creator.
Yes. So true.
So true. Okay, so I want to shift into more, I guess, collective. How important it is right now for us to really get into our divine feminine. How is it impacting the collective, so to speak? If anybody can say, what are your thoughts on that?
There's a big breakdown of secrets being revealed. All the subconscious things are starting to come to the surface. So
Yeah.
the feminine energy is working a lot in balance, balancing out this patriarchal world that we've been living in. So like knowing what your role is in that space too, I think is important. Finding connections, because a lot of us have based off of just the past few years, the way that things have shifted a lot for a lot of people, whereas to disconnect community, disconnect fellowship and the connection with each other, and put them all into more of a virtual subconscious feminine space, but also making sure you balancing like with those in-person connections, and even especially for people, for us women of color, and a lot of the spaces that we're in is we're only taught that there's only space for one, and that looks a certain way, and then and just getting out of the space of having competition and understanding everyone has a space. So I think it's just once we have that understanding, I think there's been a big shift in the like just starting with a conscious community and starting to create those spaces. But I definitely think that we have to be aware and conscious in those moments to continue to build with each other.
Definitely agree.
Concur.
Definitely agree.
Yeah.
I agree too, because I feel like just talking about connecting with for the divine feminine, connecting with other divine feminine energies in person or just online, however. But I think that it's so important, and me and Gia has talked about this. It's healing.
Yeah.
It's so needed because a lot of the time, what happens is that heals. It has the power to heal mother wounds. It has the power to heal, your perception on feminine energy in general.
Yeah.
And I think that me transforming as a woman wasn't necessary. It didn't take off until I met my soul tribe, until I met my friendships and other divine feminine energies. You know what I'm saying? So I think that is so needed as of right now. Obviously we all have our journey, and when it's time for us to step out and connect, it's time to step out and connect. And when it's time for us to draw back and be in solitude so we can learn ourselves, it's time to do that. But I think that
We're
it's
all
so important for us
interconnected.
to connect with each other and to
Mhm.
offer, because divine feminine energy is also supportive.
Mhm. Mhm.
And it's also a foundation. You know what I'm saying? And it's needed, for the divine feminine. She needs her, what I'm saying? We need to cultivate that energy together, because the more of us, when the more of us, or when more of us connect with each other, that energy increases, and it
Yes.
enhances, it amplifies.
Mhm.
That, and it brings out again, like I was saying earlier, when you're around divine masculine energy, when you're around divine feminine energy, it's going to pull that out of you. Now, whether you're ready to receive that and step into that is up to you. But when you are in the presence of a divine feminine energy or divine masculine energy, it's going to pull that divine masculine energy out of you, the divine feminine energy out of you. So it's necessary for us to, connect with other divine energies.
Mhm. Mhm.
I think when we connect with each other, then also ushers in the balance of that, which is the masculine energy, to the
Yeah.
proper space for that. And then also I think it also puts in that kind of like that starseed like mentality energy of the healers, that setting the aura and the vibration and being able to carry it, so then it can start to transform the environment, and the people that's around it, they'll have to match it or move.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
So what I agree with all of those things, and it's very important, very very important that we create a space for the divine feminine, because the divine feminine sets the tone. The divine feminine came first,
Mm-hmm.
and out of that came the masculine.
Mhm.
Okay, so she has to have that space. She has to have that space to continue to stay in her position. If she doesn't have that space to be able to ground herself and stay focused, we're done.
Yeah.
They're already cutting the mother out.
They've already, yes.
It was no mother.
Yeah.
That's why they told us it's just the Father, the Son, and Holy
I
Spirit.
said the same thing. Mm-hmm.
So she's already got to do a lot of fighting. So I feel like this is very necessary and it's very needed. Just like the masculine, they have their own thing going. You know, they had Million Man marches. Just an example. They haven't done it in a while, but they know how to. Okay, let's get together and do what we need to do, and whatever other things they have going on. So it's rare that we're seeing this, but it's very so much needed. That's missing.
Yeah, I definitely agree, and I kind of want to go into that a little bit. And I said earlier about how much we have been removed, right? We've been removed in such a large way that I still don't think everybody understands fully how much we've been removed, and we've been removed through programming as well too. How many TV shows can you guys remember? One came to mind. Everybody Loves Raymond, right? Where it's like Deborah's talking, it's like like her voice has been shut down, right? We go into those Hebrew Israelite spaces, shut up, stay in the quiet, stay in the back. Women shouldn't speak. When we bring the wisdom, we're connected to spirit. You know what I mean? And it's just like, when you remove that, what is left? Destruction and chaos. And look at where we is right now.
We're in a distorted masculine energy. This is distorted.
It's
so
crazy.
that's like News was saying about the fight for the divine masculine to get to reclaim their space, because we've been operating in distorted masculine energy
for a while.
Yeah, so that she said, coming in and setting that tone as the feminine energy, like, because like I said, we're able to hold the space, we can hold the aura, we can hold the vibration, which starts to shift around those, like I said, it'll filter, it'll start to filter out.
Yeah.
It'll raise it'll raise people into different levels of awareness and create transformation within the opposite. And I think that's going to be important to like shift it, because we operate in the healing spaces and the creative space.
Right. And to piggyback off of that, not to take anything, because if we have any masculines that are tuning in, shout out to you guys. Shout out to the guys that are tuning in. Now, I don't want you guys to get it misconstrued. Okay? Masculine. Yes, you are here. You're here to lead. Okay?
We need you.
You are the head of the household.
Definitely.
Not a shadow of a doubt. However, you can only get into that role once the feminine can get into her role, and then she feels secure enough to, okay, let me be the receiver that I am. And let me let you do what we created you to do. Go ahead and be the enforcer. Okay?
The enforcer.
Get in your space. You have that space now to be the God that you were created to be. And I don't want to say created because I don't really like to say that we're created, because we were never created. We always was, always is, and always will be. Non-ethers. But what I just want the masculine to say, I don't want you to feel like, hold on, like she don't want. That's not the case. However, we got to get to the root. We got to start with the root first. Once she's in position, once she can get the crown back, she forgot she even had one. That on her. I'm gonna put it on her ass.
Collection plate.
Right, collection plate.
I'm rocking for you too.
Got BBL.
Once she get in her position, right? Then yes, be the God that you came to be. Go ahead.
Yeah.
The feminine want shit. So she can do what she's here to do, which is create and nurture, and do all of those things,
Real talk.
That's why we created you. Go on. You want to be the head? Go ahead. However, she's got to be right. She's got to be right first. The position is yours. We made it especially for you. So I don't want no comments, no crazy comments, because that's not what we're here for. However, she has to understand, because she lost the crown. So you got to back up. You got to fall back a little bit, so she can get back to and realize and understand and understand and comprehend and remember who she is first. So that's all we're saying. Yes, you are the leader. Yes, you go on. I know the ladies. We are naturally. You have that energy of, I'm on the throne. That's just you automatically feel that way. Nobody ain't gonna tell you that, because that's in nature. Naturally, that's what you are. But she don't know this yet. So now, fellas, you got to fall back.
Mm-hmm.
You got to let her step into her divinity, and then she can be all those things, and then you can have that which you never had, that love, that support, that partnership. You'll be able to dance now.
That part.
You'll be able to understand and overstand you because she knows who she is, which you come from.
Right.
Yeah.
If you plant seeds, you think that you are the thing, and you're not.
Yeah.
And don't
You gotta have a
distort
foundation first to plant a seed.
and
No
don't distort
foundation,
force and
no
control.
seed.
Mm-hmm.
Foundation first.
Uh-huh.
Then the seed come, and then the seed is allowed to enter the foundation. Foundation comes first. It doesn't mean that she's more powerful than you or she's more. No, it's just that's the divine order.
Exactly. Divine order.
Hallelujah.
Once
Say
we
it again.
become, yeah, and and that's the thing. We're out of balance, and we have to both masculine and the divine masculine and the divine feminine energy need to be balanced. Period.
Yes.
There is no balance without the other.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a divine union.
It's a dance between the two, and it's a respect of it's a respect and a understanding and a reverence for both.
I have
You know
a
what I mean?
request for 2024 cycle and beyond. Can we leave the gender war podcast?
I hope it was a win, but
back and
yes, please, because that's why
we're equally as needed. Like
it's equally
I don't want them to
needed.
think like this. We don't need Nick. We don't need gods. That's a lie.
Right.
That's
if
not
you
true.
hear a feminine tell you she don't need a god,
Something wrong.
Run.
Something wrong. Distorted. We talk about distorted.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, so this is we need each other more
I
than
need
ever.
mine.
This is not a,
Yeah.
you know, like
Right.
up there. You gotta leave that back there. Leave
Yeah.
that
Yes.
back there. This
Because
is not.
it's
not
needed.
that. Okay.
It's needed.
So
and
it's not one more than the other, or
No.
no. It's about order. Once you have order, we can get somewhere. That's where it starts. You know.
Yes.
So we just want to educate and enlighten, so that the enlightened ones can become illuminated and they can understand their positions.
Yeah.
If you don't know this, she can't be what you expect her to be.
Exactly.
And neither can you. She can't expect you if you don't know.
Yeah.
But you got to be open to receive, because she is the original teacher.
Yes.
She ain't supposed to be quiet now. She was here first. She may know some things and can tap in that you can't. You don't have a order.
Yeah.
You don't have
Imagine when we get to the point to where the divine masculine and the divine feminine truly, and I'm, we're seeing it now,
A little bit.
putting it out there, but when we get to where it's more common to see that balance between the divine masculine and divine feminine energies, powerful things happen. Because again, it's a perfect balance between the both. He's the builder. He makes the things happen. He protects in the spiritual and physical realm.
He created this. We gave
right.
Go ahead. We tired, huh?
Exactly.
That's you. They created that. Don't get it twisted. The master created this.
Put down a picture and here you go.
Right.
They created this, So we're not saying that. Like that's yours. Nobody can take that from you.
Yeah.
Right, and we have to have a respect for there's a respect that's needed, like you said, for both energies. You can't be like, you can't claim to be in a divine feminine energy and bash the masculine.
No, you're both.
You can't be in a divine masculine energy and bash the feminine.
Because when you're both, like she said, where you're both anyway, you're bashing a part of yourself.
Exactly.
You
gotta heal that.
Back.
Yeah. When I look at it though, when I think about it, because we are in this, unfortunate, we are in these gender roles right now. We are dealing with a whole lot of that, and it's like more of a shut up and sit down thing, and it's like, it's weird to me, because when you think of, in the olden days, like Peppa Pig says, sorry, advocate. So I think every time I say that term, I think
right.
Anyway, when I think of like in the olden days, right, and you think of a king who has, I'm gonna use the term oracle, like somebody who's connected to the spirits, right? And he consults. When we thought about somebody said wisdom earlier, right? The masculine consults with the feminine, right? And obtains that wisdom, and then he does. When he has that oracle, he's very like, he treats it like a precious thing. So you need to treat it like the most, because without that oracle, he doesn't know how
The war
the
strategy.
war with this colony is going to go, and the war with that colony, and when should he plant? And nope, you know what? She doesn't feel like we should start this project right now. Something's not right with the energy. Let's move some things. When he doesn't have that thing that is precious, that he protects, and she's secure and she feels safe. When that union doesn't happen, he falls. When you don't have that, it falls. And so it's important for both people to understand their positions and for there to be respect both ways. She gets that safe. I don't know why safety is such a big thing for us. I'm still struggling with, but it is. We need to feel, we need to be in that safe space. You know, once you're in that safe space, then you can, you know, provide and be into that feminine energy for him, and he can do what he needs to do for her, and then the kingdom thrives. But when it's not happening like that,
quicksand.
When the oracle's in the basement, hallelujah, you ain't even consult.
A good movie reference for the oracle is movie 300. It showed Leonidas, the king Leonidas, and he consulted.
Yes.
Looking, they want to understand what Gia is talking about. Go watch the movie 300. They consulted an oracle, and they had the messages of like how to proceed within the war space.
Yep. Yeah. We need more Huxtables. I'll be watching that now. Claire Huxtable.
Lordy. But like,
I think that's a perfect example. I think
it really is. Example.
Because, you know, like I said, you know, the feminine, I mean, when it comes to like safety, I think that's just like, you know, I mean, shoot, like I just feel like, I mean, in this world today, it can get crazy, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and I think that we need that safety because we intuitively will understand the masculine's world.
Listen, we need the masculine energy.
We need the masculine energy, you know.
Came in for you to do that, and
you know how many women are being abducted every year?
I know.
Statistically, around the same amount every year.
Black women.
There's not enough men that's stepping up and protecting them.
Because the men have been feminized and distorted.
Child, say it again. Say it again, Cam. Lord.
But I was gonna say with the security part, the safety, that's very foundational. That's root chakra.
Yeah.
You know, like so before you can get to the sacral, before you can get to before you can get to understanding emotions and moving up through those levels. You have to start a foundation, and inside the foundation also the discovery of self, like it's your base, your foundation.
Yeah.
So it's the thing that holds up everything else. So you know, that safety, stability, and security are important for all women, or all feminine energy also. Like it needs to be there. So then everything that's built on top of that can be sustainable. Or it'll be like that tower card in the tarot is going to break down to
right.
Yeah. Foundation was like, so it's that foundation of everything, that safety is going to be important too.
That's a card I don't want to ever see in my readings. So I'm good on the tower.
I love it. You know what's crazy?
It's like major change to me. Transformation.
Tower means yes.
You know, I like the tower moments.
I mean, I appreciate
that. 9 and you have the 11. So it's like 9 is the ending, 11 the new door you always do. All right, slash that. I'm going here. And no, sometimes you know the tower moments are uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Need it in order to get access to get to that door.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go through. So
I was talking about this earlier.
You know, I think that like I like the tower card. I love when I get the tower card. And you know why? Because I feel like, you know, because again, I'm an Aries moon. I like things to happen fast. I like things now. Even though I'm learning patience, but I like I know that if a time moment is coming, something's like it's right now.
Right
things are gonna move into another timeline. Like, okay, we're gonna get, you know what I'm saying? It might be a little rough, but you know what? It's gonna push things forward, you know. So
what's your sun sign?
I'm a Capricorn.
She's a Capricorn, so Taurus moon, right? I'm a Taurus moon as well. So
I'm a
I like
Capricorn sun, Aries moon, and Libra rising.
My bad. I thought you were Taurus.
Yeah, cameras are Libra.
You're Libra rising?
Yeah, I have a Libra. I have a late degree, so really it's like on the surface Libra, then it goes Scorpio. Like, no,
Okay.
you thought, no, no, I'm almost a triple water. Like, I have the little mask of like, oh, she's nice. Yeah, like Pisces moon. Yeah,
Oh, you have a Pisces moon?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
How is that?
Yeah.
Just I'm always emotional. I'm always leading with emotions. My North Node is in Pisces, so it's usually a lot of things that have to do with spirituality.
Wow.
So and I have organized messes like in my head, like like I know what everything is, but nobody.
Yeah.
My hubby's a Pisces moon too.
Yeah.
Oh man. I guess
So anybody?
I'm almost a triple Gemini, really. Gemini,
Really?
Gemini rising.
Oh,
I'm a
Gemini.
Cancer. I'm right there on the borderline. So.
I get along great.
Wait, so this I know you.
No, I get along great with Gemini.
That's a whole nother what you call it? Podcast.
All right. So, are there any other subjects we didn't cover that you think we should when it comes to the divine feminine and her importance and all of
I think that I think that like because what I'm saying. I think about what I'm saying, because I guess what we were talking about the other day is like aesthetics and the way because I feel
I
like
was going to talk about that.
Yeah,
like because it's not something that you can dress up as.
No, nails, hair, dressing.
Yeah, you can talk about divine feminine energy. You can talk about divine feminine energy and know all the things that it is to know about divine feminine energy, but to emanate that energy, to be and to embody that energy is a completely different thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care what you can wear or what you talk about, whatever the case may be, but if you have divine feminine energy, like it's something that you feel.
Yeah, I was saying there's difference between authentic. You have to be authentic to really your divine feminine energy. A lot of the synthetic coverings, like those don't represent the divine feminine spaces. Like it goes part of the distorted. You have to be part of being like Anu said, being natural. Is nature. So you have to get connected within the self. You have to be true to yourself in order to really tap into your divine feminine energy.
Yeah, and we all have a different, what I'm saying, because it's not just like what the energy is just the energy, right? And that the way that we express that energy is also very different. You know what I'm saying? So it's not something that you can look at someone and say, oh, well, she's in her divine feminine energy, but it's more of a thing to where like I said, that you feel someone who's walking in their truth and is not afraid of who they are and loves who they are, in its entirety, even on the days where you feel like, you could do better or whatever the case may be, but just being in your authenticity and, it shines off of you. You feel it and just like something that you can't put your hands on.
Yeah, to piggyback off of you with that, it's a presence.
Yes.
It's like it's an existence. It's not only an energy, it's an aura, it's an essence. So like you said, it's not something that it doesn't have a look. It's a feeling. And when you step into the presence of a true divine feminine, you're gonna know. When you're in that presence, you're gonna know, because like you said, it's an energy.
People naturally let that guard down. People naturally turn their heads. The vibe will change when you walk in a room.
Right. She's gonna be respected. First and foremost. You're gonna know, because it's a presence. That's why you don't have to open your mouth. She ain't gotta open her mouth. It's a presence.
Yeah, and it's almost like an activation that happens when you step into the presence of the divine feminine, or just it's like an activation that happens within you. Like we were saying earlier, is whether you accept that activation and you move forward with it, or it makes you want to run away because you're not ready to see yourself in that way. But it's something that is transformative. People, I think that we don't talk about it enough, is that, an energy, like a person can walk into the room, and if they have that energy, it's going to help you evolve, you know what I'm saying? But it's going to help, it's like a transformative energy. Like, you know, there's some people that have that energy of activation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That will awaken another
the
soul
essence.
by being who they are. Being, you know what I'm saying? It's very powerful to be in your authentic energy.
Mm-hmm.
Because that energy is going to activate another, and you know what I'm saying? It's going to help another person activate.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's going to initiate.
Not what you think is your authentic energy, because some people adapt a persona.
Yeah, that's true.
I seen a video just the other day. I don't know, I just happened, you know, reels pop up on your timeline. Mm-hmm. And it was a beautiful sister, beautiful. But she was just like, I don't know what she was even talking about. I was just like, what? Yeah. She was just going off in her, like, I'm the realist and fuck that. And she was cussing out her baby daddy. And I'm just like, oh my God.
I'm like, yeah.
That's not who you are. That's who you think
That's
you
part of
are.
that.
Because of you being hurt and you being wounds and like, baby girl, like
yeah.
You know. So
yeah. I definitely agree.
And for all you who are not there yet, it's a process.
Yeah.
Oh,
we were talking
Don't
about
beat yourself up about it. It's a journey. Okay.
Yeah,
so it's talking about that little energy, that dark energy, and healing with that. Right. That's stripping away everything.
We talked about how to get there a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
Dealing with your shadow self and starting to undo those masks and different things you could start to do. But it's all subjective. It's going to be hard. Yeah, it's going to be, like you said, it's a lot. This is a lifetime.
And there's no rule books out there either.
No, and it's like we have to remember that, like you said, it's just like there's no timeline. It's not linear. Like it's not something that you can say like, hey, in 5 months I'm gonna be in my divine feminine.
Right.
Like it takes a long time. Like for myself, I've been doing shadow work for like 4 years now. You know, but I didn't even get close to tapping into my authenticity, or at least feeling more authentic, or being brave enough to walk in my authenticity up until maybe a year ago.
Doing things that you fear the most.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and so we literally have to take it one day at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Not the getting into or tapping into your divine feminine energy isn't the goal. It's just being authentic.
Mm-hmm. It might require a lot of different things. I know for me, I had to move. I had to like leave whole environments and be in completely like spaces of isolation. I'll go went from one space, different space. Like I went through different layers of shedding, like what you said, the persona. Like because you'll do things which you were taught to do when society told you who you're supposed to. And then you start to really get connected with yourself. But sometimes you end up having to leave and be in a whole completely different space that looks unfamiliar to you, in all ways. I call it tornado too. Like I was in the Wizard of Oz.
Oh man,
okay.
So true. And I had to do the same thing. I had to move. I had to leave things that didn't serve me. I think I went without talking to anybody for months at a time, and it was just I really was forced to isolate myself. I couldn't even be around. Like spirit wouldn't allow me to be around certain energies. Like it'll literally take you out of your comfort zone, because now you're like, okay, spirit's like, okay, you serious? You know what I'm saying? Especially when you get serious and you're on this journey, and you're authentic about the way, or you're just being like you're genuine about your desire for growth. You know what I'm saying? And so spirit is going to snatch you about everything that doesn't serve you. Away from everything that doesn't serve you. People, places, things, mentalities, old habits, and it is like you said, like the Wizard of Oz. You know what I'm saying? Or even how you or Alice in Wonderland, when she gets drugged down that dang hole and she falls into that thing, and it's just like it's could be scary at times, but it's
fun
not
now.
Pretty.
I'm like, all right, what's next, Barry? What you got for me?
So everybody out there too, not to get off topic, but I know this is probably on everybody's brain. We're coming up to the last couple of days of December. So everybody's probably prepping for the new year, or got New Year's resolutions going on. But I want you guys to keep this in mind. Okay, I gotta burst your bubble. Okay, their New Year's is
It's
not
not
the same as our New Year's.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted
That's
you
why I
guys to
said
think out there
cycle.
really quickly. Just think about this. It is winter time. Okay, in the winter time, everything does what?
Fall away, die,
Dies.
rebirth.
It dies. This is not the time to be trying to manifest anything or rebirth anything. Okay. Our New Year comes
Okay.
a little bit after that. I would say around from March, maybe the
March,
end of March
yes.
to about
Yes.
April 1st. That's why they say April Fools because it's on you, okay? Because you're in the wrong season. So for all y'all out there, if you really about that life,
Yeah.
understand, overstand. Now you can play around with the New Year's energy if you want, I'm not saying
Don't
you
mess
go
with the New
ahead
Year's.
and play around
Watch
with
the ball drop if you want.
harness the energy. However, do not try to manifest anything and then wonder why it hasn't
It
happened.
ain't happening. Yeah.
Okay?
Seasons.
So I just want to put that out there before I go, before we end this.
Right.
Guys, just be.
If you've already been doing your work and the diligent with like preparation, that's what this year was, 2023. It's the 7th preparation. Then you already done your work. You just have to wait for it to manifest and be fruitful in the spring.
Yeah.
Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled out there.
Don't be fooled.
Right.
Okay?
The energy of wintertime is for a lot of reasons. It is a reset, evaluate, reflect. So it is a very internal time for yourself. You don't want to start planning your season until March, and when it becomes springtime, when Aries season starts. But it's more of a time to continue to reflect and continue to tie up all your loose ends. It's still a lot of work being done.
Okay.
And just really securing, like we were talking about, that foundational work, that root work, because everything dies down to the root. And gotta secure that root, get those deeper into the ground, and get ready.
He said secure the root. Can you say secure the bag? He said secure the root.
Ones in the back.
Hello.
It's the truth.
They trick us too to be like, oh, we're supposed to be booed up. Like, really, this is the time for you. It's a very internal, reflective time for the self. Like winter time, don't get fooled.
Right.
They try to manipulate any way they can, I swear. If you think about it, everything is backwards.
It's diabolical.
And don't feel bad. I didn't know that either, when I was in 3D.
I didn't know for years.
Yeah.
I think last year was the first time I didn't do the New Year's thing. Last year was my first year going, this ain't even a New Year. What am I doing?
Now, as I said earlier, that we're going into a new cycle for 2024. For me, this is my third going into my third trimester. I say this is like my third trimester of birthing something, whatever that is, birthing. So going into my third trimester, January, February, huh?
You can look at numerology though, like if you're into that, but if you think numbers are important, you can look at the numerology of, like, what does that mean of 2024 and the energy of those numbers and the month, and understanding your life path and your personal year and those different things. You could use the New Year's energy for that purpose to just.
Right, that's what I mean.
I'm excited for 2024.
You can play around with that energy, but just don't,
to prepare for what you do in March, use
exactly.
The theme of the year.
I'm excited. I'm partying now, celebrating. I'm like,
this brings me into divine feminine and understanding the moon phases and how to be sensitive to that, and womb energy and all of that. That's a whole, I don't know if we got time, but that's a whole nother thing too. And I think being sensitive to not just the moon, but your own cycle. I'm gonna be clean. You know what I mean when I say your own cycle, and paying attention to that, honoring your cycle, and not being, because I spent many years going, dang, again, Jesus. I wasn't. Anybody told us something about sacred about that? I didn't think it was a sacred thing,
very sacred.
And so
I think as a feminine, it is very important because I use my cycles to identify what place in my life that I'm in. And so it's always, I guess, I don't know much. I don't know a whole lot regarding it, but I know that I do, like, I'll do check, like I'll see what moon cycle is happening when I have my cycle or whatever. Like recently, I actually started this like this month, which I had it twice this month, which is crazy. But it aligned with this full moon.
Me too.
This previous. Oh, it did it?
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm like, to me, I mean, I was excited because I know that's like the high priestess energy. That's
Yeah. It went right on the day of the full moon. I was like,
me too. Yes, me too.
Yeah.
So you're saying that you had two minstrels and your minstrels ended up around this time with the full moon and stuff.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So it like literally skipped days to land on the full moon, the day of the full moon.
Mm-hmm.
So
hey, I joined. We all in the same boat. But I just want to make sure I was hearing you clear. I'm kind of like,
no, it's like, yeah, okay. I mean, it was like, it was like,
did she say that quickly? Let me just make.
I was like, okay, spirit.
Awesome. But yeah, it's important. I find it very important to just pay attention to those things and really track it and make those correlations. Look for the patterns of things. I believe in patterns.
And also think about like when you start clicking with other women too, like a lot of times your cycles sync up.
Yep.
Yes.
And what does that mean for you? So like, looking at those dates or who it also kind of tells you who may be in more of the dominant space at the time, like as the woman, like who's linking up with whose cycle. Those are different things to pay attention to.
That's interesting. Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Also,
women, somebody's gonna get offset and they're gonna line up with another.
Oh,
yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Even
if I know that they line up, but I didn't think about it to see who's was
the
switching.
dominant.
Who's switching?
Like the queen bee, like it's always just that one dominant one, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
That makes sense.
And then also like I do take menstruation as a very sacred time. First of all, y'all, I've been having babies for the past several years. Okay,
she sneezed the wrong way.
I got 4 women, 7 and under, so send me.
Send it here. Send it to me.
Okay, so I pay attention, but I do use that time. I usually make that a time like where I fast, or I'll do like raw vegan for those days that I'm on my cycle and really honor my body. I take that time more to spend more time with myself, and I do a lot of self-care during that time. That's the time where feet, they're gonna get touched. Like somebody rubbing my feet. Sometimes like I start doing self-care in that space for myself. I usually align it with the cycle, but I also try to reflect and meditate. I like to do active meditation though, because I don't be trying to hold nothing. And then I noticed too, like the intensity. You got to watch sometimes the intensity of your periods too. Like
I was gonna say that.
My periods used to be very light, my menstruation, but as I continue to have babies and different things, like I don't know, I was like, is there another baby in there? Like, like what's going on? So,
dang.
So honoring and understanding, like we talked about earlier, being tapped into your body and understanding your body and what your body may need at those times. So spending more time nurturing and finding out root causes of why your womb feels so tight or cramping in those spaces, or what needs to be let go, what is stagnant in that space.
Now
we hold emotion there.
Now, is it natural?
Right. Yeah, we have to determine, because sometimes our diet don't make it. Sometimes it's not natural, because sometimes we have to determine, like, is this cycles even a natural thing for us to have?
That's what I'm getting to. That's what I'm
saying. That's a debate there, because
I don't know.
That's a debate for me.
I know when I was alkaline vegan for a while, I wasn't having no cycle at all. But when I started eating certain foods, then I'm starting to have a cycle. So is it really something that we're supposed to have?
I don't really know. believe
And on
that.
top of that,
When I was vegan, I was still having my cycle.
Yeah, me
My
too.
cycle has always been 2 days, maybe 3 days to max, and very light. But
I don't know about all that. You
I
alone.
asked that question because I don't know if everybody else was told, but how I was raised was that the menstrual cycle was so that you can have a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Now, has anybody else ever heard
if
that?
you stop having a menstrual cycle, you can have babies.
So I say that to say this. You also have a set of eggs that everybody comes down here with.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And the eggs is what allows you to have that, to
Mhm.
have the baby.
Mm-hmm.
So once again, I'm gonna say this again: is menstruation natural? And also, when they say cycles and refer to the moon,
Mm-hmm.
why is that a connection? I don't know. I'm just asking. Like, we got to think about these things.
No, this
I
is
think
just what
for me,
requires
it's just a purifying. Your body is just purifying itself and detoxing.
About what the moon does, it does
emotions,
a lot of the water,
waters,
Right.
emotions.
earth, like it pulls the waves, and it's from the gravitational pull and different things like that. Us being aligned with certain cycles, it's the gravitational pull. It shows the density of your body, like at the time, like the water, the amount of water, the fluid in your body. Also, there's a good book, y'all, called Biology, and it talks about you were in your grandmother's womb, like
I know.
all your eggs, the things you could create. You were in your
I don't
grandmother's
think it's
womb.
natural, to be honest. I didn't see
Yeah.
women that's out here right now. Lady just had two set of twins. She's 73 years old. They never don't have menstrual. You got a set of eggs. Everybody comes with a certain amount.
Right.
That allows you to have these. To be fertilized, to be able to create an avatar for that soul to enter this realm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, technically, like the soul is already exists before it comes down there. Your body is there to create that avatar. So this is why I'm saying these things, because a lot of things we have to question. Did
It's like
always have a period? Did she always have one? Is some ladies out who don't have periods that still having them? And if she needs a period to have a baby, then what's the sense of the eggs? Is either she need the eggs or does she need the period? Or is the period just for cleansing? Or why does she have to cleanse anyway? Did they do something to make us start having periods and now we gotta cleanse? Is it a certain control? Like these things that, Yeah,
I think it's epigenetics. Epigenetics is like your DNA markers can change with the lifestyle that you've been leading, and then also the previous generations affect that too, because like we said, you being in your grandmother's womb when she was creating your mother, and your mother had all her eggs in there, which you were in there. So what the things that was going on with your grandmother and your mother during her pregnancy all affected you and your next generation, potentially 2 generations, if you have a daughter. There's lineages, it's levels to that too, because it could definitely be epigenetic stuff around.
We're gonna solve this. We're gonna say like they say in the Christian, the Bible, all because Eve made Adam ate the apple. Now the fight.
Listen, don't.
That's why we're cursed.
That's the excuse for everything. You see what they did? It's
right.
You see how they do the feminine?
I'm gonna solve that problem right here. I'm gonna solve that problem right here because I'm so tired of this.
Get into it, baby. Get into it. Fashion collection. Please.
God didn't give Eve no directive. God gave Adam the directive. Adam wasn't on his job and allowed Eve to wander off so she can be deceived. The person who got the rules was Adam. So whose fault was it exactly again?
Accountability.
I'm just so tired of this Eve business. Bro,
but I guess another question is there. Like if it's not natural.
I tell you, they don't like the feminine. Whoever wrote this up,
no.
Listen, especially King James, wasn't he a pedophile?
Yes, he was.
Like women at all. I don't know what you
That's the real tea. That's the real tea.
There was that Peter party.
Better watch it because them Bible thumpers. They're gonna be there.
I know, right?
They're y'all. So like,
Like, it's just like, I mean, if it's not natural, I mean, I obviously like there's, I mean, I don't know how I feel about it, but I'm like, if it's not natural,
yeah,
it's kind of like, damn, like, well, what were they like? They must have had to get us at birth to affect all feminine energies.
You gotta think
But
about
do y'all think it's a powerful thing to work with your blood?
I've heard that, but I just can't. Ew.
I know. I've never done it. I just heard it is very powerful.
There's things that we can get as babies too that could affect us. So we ain't gonna really talk. I can't say it. I don't know, like, but
I know, right? You can't say it, but
little alterations.
Yeah.
But I know you definitely. I know you definitely now made me want to go do some more research on this because I really don't know.
I mean, everything's.
I've heard. I think that with the like, even when on my when I went raw vegan for a month, my cycle didn't last. I mean, even now, but like once I started that, from that point on, because that's what really led me into eating cleaner and staying consistent, with that. My cycle doesn't go over 3 days.
3 or 4 days, but you're still getting a cycle. She's saying that
it's also like not heavy either.
There's some athletes, right, that I guess don't have any.
Yeah, they don't get menstrual. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yeah, we can look into.
We gotta. Yeah,
I'm gonna have to look into that.
We need some more research to come back and do another panel.
We gotta do a certain
amount of eggs that you got to rock with.
I think we should. We should do some type of experiment.
How you gonna experiment? Right? All 5 of us go raw vegan for like 3 months and then come back and be like, let's do a panel.
You still gotta give more time there because your body gotta detox.
That's true.
Like body doing certain
I'm still gonna have the extra
about this. Think about this. They tell people, okay, now they have the technology where, okay, we can take your eggs and freeze them if you want to have a baby later on. They ain't say you needed a menstrual. They taking your eggs. Tell you we take these eggs. Sure. We can take your eggs. We can put them in another female and have them enter through her port. So do we really need a menstrual for this? Like, we gotta really I don't know, guys. I just don't. I don't know.
Yeah, if you got some going.
Bleed the earth. No.
Listen, I could do without it.
Right. I'm just glad. I'm happy that mine is really, really light, and I don't get like I used to when I was young. I used to get bad cramps. It used to be heavy. It used to last for days. I know a lot of work consistently on, spiritually has helped with that. Mm-hmm. But I can do it out.
I feel like it's some type of spell
they
put on the
if you do it out the butt, you're still gonna have the mood swings. Man, you're still gonna have the mood swings.
The spell.
You got no way. Also,
they put on the feminine.
It could be. We don't know.
A lot of conspiracies with that because it could be the vibration too. You got a lot of 5G, unnatural. Like waves going on, triggering.
I'm just saying.
Chemtrails.
You can go into
the moon does what? The moon affects what? It controls that type of frequency. Like it can do that. It has enough power to do that. So I'm just saying that periods may not be natural. I don't want them. And I don't think you need them to have a baby. Whoever's listening out there, inbox me if you have any information on this. I don't think you need a baby. You don't need a menstrual to have a baby. I don't think you need that. I feel like they lied. I feel like there's something going on there.
But then I'm like thinking too, like
period says, this is great. This is great. This is divine. I don't know, but I just want to get your brains going. We all got to be open-minded, and we all
definitely.
So if you
just like the epidural shot, is that supposed to stop periods? I did it once before. It made it worse.
I had an epidural. It ain't stopped nothing.
It made it worse. I got bad cramps and everything.
Yeah, I did. I had bad.
That screwed up my back.
It was terrible.
Like, y'all this shit. I can't wait till fucking years up. Then I tried the one that they insert. That was horrible too. That's
what they insert? I'm sorry, I missed it.
The what you call it? The UV thing.
You mean birth control?
Yeah, birth control.
Well, I've never done that, so I don't know.
I have.
Oh, the thing that goes within your skin.
Don't do that. If you guys are doing that, please don't.
Don't do that.
Don't do none of them. None of them,
Goes in
please.
your,
Don't alter to the
It's
body.
no
this
good.
was way before my enlightenment. This is
Don't do
before
none of
my,
that stuff.
my second child.
F you up. Don't do none of
Yeah,
that.
don't do that.
They even
It's the
said that
devil sign.
they even said that if you're on birth control and you meet a person, right, and you're attracted to that person, once you get off that birth, your attraction is going to change. That's how much it affects you, your chemistry, your emotions, don't do none of that stuff. I remember they gave it to me, and then I was like, yeah, I'm gonna take, because they told me I had a cyst on my ovary, right? And it was like, oh, we're gonna give you some birth control to shrink the cyst. I was like, I took it home, and I was like, nah, we ain't finna do this.
They don't want us to procreate anyway.
Yeah,
if it ain't natural,
Right. That's why they got Planned Parenthood on every damn corner.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
Your womb, like
we're not medical professionals. Hallelujah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Disclaimer.
Yeah.
But
That's
in my personal opinion,
right. This is just for
speaking from experience.
No, thank you.
Only.
You know, I have to say that because somebody's gonna be like, Gia done said I need to stop my birth control. No, ma'am.
Whoa, right. Yeah.
Go to your ancestors and ask them. Okay.
Yes.
But in my opinion,
I used to.
Go to your ancestors. G ain't nobody's God. Okay, well, thank you guys. This has been an awesome panel, and I hope we can do it again because you guys are so dope and so awesome.
Yes,
love you are too as well.
No, thank you.
Reflection.
Reflections.
Love it.
Let me know. Hit me up. Let me know. Mikasa.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yes, you guys. This was such a good live.
And I say to our family out there,
yes,
we love you too. We love you too, guys.
Yeah, I'm so thankful for you guys tapping in. Thank you so much for being here. I'm saying, I think that this was a really good live. I think that I really enjoyed myself with you all. And just vibing with some divine feminine energies is always needed. So I'm sending y'all lots of love and light. I guess before we go, you might as well tell us where we can find you. I know that you guys have your stuff under your names and stuff, but if you guys have some events coming up or some projects coming up, go ahead and let the audience know and where we can find you and all that good stuff.
Yeah, let's start with CC. You go first.
I'm in the ethers. No, I'm playing.
You're not kidding.
That's a fact, baby.
You find me there. Astro Travel, you see me now. They stop playing. Like she goes.
You can find her in these actions.
It's a fact.
I'm Cecilia, a goddess. You know me as Connection to Ascension. You'll see all my info in my bio. For any services needed, counsel, I do mentorship, any products, metaphysical products, and all that. I have that. So much lists of things that I do. So very versatile. But you can check all my information in my bio.
Awesome. Cam?
All right, so I'm Cameron English. I'm the owner of Mother Nature Healing. You call me Mova if you want, because all of that. Okay, I am a healing artist. So I'm a Reiki master, sound and color therapist, and also I have two things going on right now. Boo, you see that? That is a workbook that I wrote. It's for dealing with the shadow. It's a journal style. So if we were talking about doing that shadow work, understanding divine feminine, always check out my bio and my page, but also go on my website www.mothernaturehealing.com and you can find access to get the book.
Right.
I'm a mother of 5, and I wrote a whole homeschool curriculum that teaches Reiki, sound healing, chakra clearing, holistic wellness, astrology, herbal studies, along with the core curriculums, and just teaching knowledge of self within it. So I also have a curriculum from pre-K through 8th grade. That I sell as a collective, and I also teach virtual classes. So that business is called Mother Nature Seeds, and that you can find it through the same website. So you follow me on Instagram at Mother Cam, at Mother Nature Healing. blah blah blah. Right?
I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna need that.
Yeah, me too. I know. What about you?
For those who watching out there right now, you can follow me on this page on Facebook, Anu Marie Ra. But on all other social media platforms, I go by Remember Who You Are. That's on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. Click the link in my bio to learn more about me. Patreon coming soon. Books are coming soon. Movies coming soon. I got music dropping soon. And I'm going to continue to push the content. If you want to collab, hit me up. Ashe, people.
Yes,
Ashe. As far as me, you guys can find me on Facebook, Gia. I think it says Gia Cosmic Connections right now. That's what it says on there. And you can find me on YouTube and TikTok, Miss Ingy Speaks Tarot as well. And yeah, Kai, where can they find you?
Well, you guys, I mean, if you're watching, you're probably on my Facebook. So you can find me on Facebook under
Cosmic Connections, yes. Check out our website too, www.cosmicconnections.com. Please check us out.
Yes. Oh, yes. So you can, if you guys would like to collaborate with us or just be a guest, promote your business, whatever the case may be, you can find us at www.cosmicconnections.com. If you guys would like to find me on TikTok, I'm there too. It's at kai.cosmicoracle. And then if you'd like to find me on Instagram, it's KAII, kai.GEE. But other than that, you guys, tap in with us, like the live,
and
share
we
the
got
live.
more sessions coming soon.
Yes, we have so many things that are coming up next year. A lot of discussions. I'm super excited.
A lot of things.
Yes. So tap in. So many more discussions and
also get your tickets for next year's celebration in June 22nd. Yeah, get your tickets. Get your VIP tickets. I promise you want to be there. I promise.
Yes.
A lot of surprises, performances, and all that at this event. It's gonna be vendors there, of course. It's lit. So, want more information? You have to go to the website for that, which is www.connectiontoascension.com.
It's about to be lit.
lit. After 7:30, all the saints might want to leave.
I heard
Cash
that.
money 99 to the 2000. Hey.
All right, you guys. Well, thank you guys for those who are tuning in, who have tuned in, who stayed to the end of the live. I appreciate you guys. Make sure to follow and subscribe to Cosmic Connections online. Find us on TikTok as well. I just created a TikTok, so tap in with us. You can also find us on Instagram as far as Cosmic Connections. So peace, you guys. Send you guys love and light. And thank you guys for tuning in. Peace.
Peace in hair grease.
Peace.